Hi friends, welcome. So how many of you currently are enrolled in WW or maybe you're looking to try out WW and you're curious? Maybe you've been questioning, WW has personal points. How many calories are in one WW personal point? Or better yet, should I eat my weekly points that are provided? Or what about how many calories am I actually eating in a day if I stick to my personal points? And the good old question is, should I eat my fit and exercise points? So those are the questions that have been floating in my head for a while. And so in today's video, I'm going to present my experience from 2-week comparison of WW personal points to calorie counting. And I used the Healthy Eye app, but I just counted calories. So I'm not really going to go into that app too much per se. So just a little background, I have been on WW for right at 12 months now. I think I'm exactly into it a year. And in the first 7 or 8 months, I did really well and I lost 40 pounds really easily. But the last 3.5 to 4 months, I've had a huge stall, and it kind of coincided with the WW points change. So I'm just not confident that the new program is working for me, and it really made me question for the first time the questions I presented earlier. I was concerned with the changes. I wasn't getting enough calories, and then I didn't like before you could turn your activity points off and not eat them. I don't see that as an option now. It automatically goes into my weeklies bank. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe you could turn it off. But I left mine on. I don't like how it doesn't separate it out so I could know if I'm eating my weeklies versus my active points. But anyhow, that's a different story. So in today's video, like I said, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the comparison between personal points and calories. And in the first week, it wasn't my normal on-track eating. I had a lot of social activities from Friday until Sunday. So that week, I would say at the end of the week, I was definitely off track. Whereas the second week, I ate really, really well. And I would say it was very similar to how I ate throughout my whole journey. So just remember though, this is for me, and everyone's WW personal points are highly variable because we all get 0 point foods different. So what I show may not be the same from you. My 0 point foods are fruit, vegetables, lean poultry, and that's all I get. So let's hop right into it. Hi, Editing Brandy here, and I just wanted to clarify for these 2 weeks, except for the days I had the social activities where I was completely off track, but on all other days, I ate according to my calorie goal, not my Weight Watchers points. So I made sure I was getting the calories I wanted and just to see how many points that would equal. Just wanted to clarify. Back to the video. Okay, so I made some charts and whatnot so we could look at the numbers together. So let's roll into that. And I am going to use some notes just so I couldn't remember the numbers off the top of my head. So this first figure just shows my personal points I ate for the 2 weeks, and it's every day. So the first block in blue is the week 1, Monday through Sunday, and then the orange is week 2, Monday through Sunday. And that's how all the figures will be. And as you can see, they vary greatly in how many points I ate per day. And that was mainly because I did have all those activities at the beginning of the week. That Saturday of week 1, I actually ate 134 points. But that's because we were at a wedding, so, I was having a cocktail or two. And then the second week, I did much better and actually had my lowest day, which was on Wednesday of that week, and only ate 28 points. But the takeaway here is, I don't know, I think I'll show a graph later with the averages, or I can show it now, I guess. I can edit it in. But anyhow, the average for both of those weeks were 50 points a day. And that is not what I'm giving a day. I'm actually giving 27 a day. But if you break the weeks into 2 weeks, week 1 averaged at 60, because that was my off-track week. And week 2 averaged at 41 points. But again, I'm only given 27 daily points. So even when I was eating on track, I still was eating on average 41 points. But we'll go into that more a little later. Okay. So next up is a graph of my calories. And it's pretty comparable to the points graphs. You can see highly variable. I think my highest day was, again, that wedding when I had almost 3,200 calories. I'm embarrassed by that, but you know, it happens. And that I did the best I could to track, you know, those events. And then I also had some really good days. I would say in that second week, my calories were mainly right on target for 1,600, which is what I'm wanting to eat based upon, I've done a lot of research over what deficit I should be at. And I burn anywhere from 1,900 to 2,100 calories a day with moderate exercise. So I would really want to be around the 1,600 mark. I don't want to go much lower than that. And you can see on most days I'm hitting that fairly well. And I did input my workout activity into both apps, but I didn't always necessarily eat that. You see that in my what I eat in a days, but I typically don't eat all my workout points. Never have. Okay. So now the big question is, when I looked at the points versus calories, so I took, say on Monday, I ate 1,674 calories, and that equated to 32 points. So I did that math, and it tells me on Monday that 1 point was worth 52 calories. So I did that for every day of the week, and I was quite surprised. It really equaled out. I had one day that was as low as 24 calories per point. And that was, of course, that same Saturday wedding. So if you eat worse, your points are worth more calories. Does that make sense? Your points are worth less calories. Listen to that. Okay. So when you eat worse, 1 point equals less calories. When you eat healthy, 1 point is worth more calories. That's right. Okay, so anyways, once I figured that out, the calories per point on average for the 2 weeks was 39 calories per point. The week 1 average was 37 points. And then on week 2, when I ate healthy, it was up to 41 points, which is pretty good. I'd always thought maybe it was, I've heard other people that been long-time Weight Watchers, people say that a point is typically 25 to 50 points, which that's a huge range, which is why I kind of wanted to dig deep and really see how many calories a point was. Okay, so I haven't lost you yet, right? Hopefully so. So now we're going to go into, well, what does this mean? So solely basing how many calories are in a point. Let's look at specifically week 2 when I had a great eating week. So it says every point equals 41 calories. Okay, so let's do some math. Weight Watchers gives me 27 daily points and 21 weekly points. If I divide those weekly points all through the week, that's only 3 extra points a day. So Weight Watchers gives me at the start of every week 30 points a day. That's not taking the water, vegetables, exercise, or any of that. So if I just multiply my 30 points times my 41 calories, if I ate that, just my 30 points, I would be at 1,238 calories, which that is what I was scared of. And on week 1, that number was even worse because the points had a lower calorie content. And if I multiplied those calories, so 37 per point times 30, I was only eating 1,109. So on average, whether I ate off track or on track, my total caloric intake, if I only ate my base daily points along with my weekly points, would only be 1,170 calories. So the first question answered is, for all those people wondering if you should eat your weeklies, you absolutely have to eat your weeklies. This math includes eating your weeklies. What it does not take into account is eating fruits and vegetables, gaining points for fruit and vegetables, water and activity. However, I did the math, And if I'm wanting to eat around 1,600 calories a day, and if I'm saying that one personal point is on average 39 calories, I would need to eat the equivalent of 40 points a day. If Weight Watchers is giving me 30 points a day, remember, includes my weeklies, that means I need to make up 10 points somewhere. I always make up a point for water. I typically get a point or two a day for vegetables. I do not gain 7 points a day for activity. There's some days I may, but that may be once or twice a week. On average, my activity points are anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5, and I'm fairly active. Like, I strength train. So there's nowhere that I'm going to gain an extra 10 points every single day to be able to eat 40 points a day. I hope I'm not losing you. Hopefully the graphs I'm showing are helping you kind of follow me. Okay, so after all that said and done, what did I take home personally from this little experiment, if you will? I decided that Weight Watchers at this point is not my best option, and that it just wasn't sustainable for me in the long term, and it may just be with the change. However, I think WW is a great tool for people who are just starting off on a weight loss journey, or who may not be very familiar and knowledgeable about healthy food choices, because it really does drive you to make healthier choices, and it gets you in that routine. And I will say, for that, WW absolutely worked for me. Even to this day, like, I'm going for the sugar-free alternatives. I'm, reducing my calories at a meal by asking them to not add the butter and whatnot. So I am not knocking WW at all. I just know for me, it's not sustainable long-term, because I don't like eating the same foods over and over and over for dinner or whatnot. Even, I eat breakfast and lunch, repetitive meals. But even that, it's not something I could add to my 0-point foods. I mean, I could add eggs to my 0-point foods and save myself 2 points a day on an egg, but I think it takes away more points than 2 a day, and I don't eat more than 1 egg a day. So in other words, adding more 0-point foods so I can get more calories by the healthy free foods isn't an option for me. I would rather be able to eat what I want, when I want. And so at this point, I am going to switch to calories. I have stopped my subscription to WW as of last night, so it'll go through the end of June. And I'm hoping the calorie counting works for me. I haven't ever really done calorie counting, but I will say, just grocery shopping this last weekend, it was a hell of a lot easier just looking at the calories versus having to scan everything in the store. So, however, a major obstacle that may get in my way in the future is that now that I'm not forced to eat all the super healthy foods, if I make poor choices, even though I may be within my calorie count, I could potentially be hungry, because I'm not eating the foods that fill you up and everything. I think I'm smart enough and disciplined enough not to make those choices, so let's hope that works. What are you doing? Okay, sorry, my husband had to sneak in. He needed clothes to change into to go work out, and he got me sidetracked. So I'm not sure what I was saying, but I think I was basically done. I hope this video didn't bore you too much. I really was doing it for myself, but I wanted to put it out there, try to make it not too boring, but who knows. But there are a few other little things that I just made notes about that I want to add. Not really to do with the calorie versus personal point comparison, but just in general using the Healthy Eye versus Weight Watchers app. So here's a few things about just the app comparison. Is that the WW app was much better if you wanted to copy an entire meal to the next day. However, if you want to scan stuff, I prefer the scanner of the Healthy Eye, because on WW, once you scan something, in order to get out of that, you had to back up so much. Whereas on the Healthy Eye, once you scan and track, it goes back to the home screen. So I really appreciated that. WW has better measurement varieties in there. For instance, if you're weighing cheese, the serving may say 1 ounce, but it also gives you 28 grams, and you can decide how you want to weigh it. In the Healthy Eye app, I didn't encounter that much. If the serving was an ounce, then that's how you had to log it in the app. I mean, I guess you could create your own food every time. So it just looks like that variety is not there yet. And then also the Healthy Eye app doesn't connect to my Garmin watch. So all activity I have to manually add, which to be honest is a pain in the ass. But it looks like my manual ad gives me the amount of calories comparable to what the Garmin does. So if I type in a 20-minute walk, it basically calculates the same as my watch does. So that's pretty good. But all in all, that is it. The main takeaway is for me, my points, one personal point, basically equated to around 41 calories when I was eating healthy. So if you want to kind of use that as an average, if you're eating fairly healthy, and I do input and I do want to note that during this, I inputted everything I ate. So even if it was the 0 point food, I went ahead and inputted it in both apps just so it would be an equal comparison. But anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you stuck with it, I appreciate you. Like, subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.